Good morning, dear students of class 12. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we'll be further continuing with the text of the lesson, the third level, part 4. So we'll have a quick recap first of what we did in the previous classes. As already told to you all that this lesson is a science fiction. And here the main protagonist, Charlie, a New York resident, 31-year-old office goer, experiences something unbelievable. When returning late one night from office, he decides to take the suburban train from New York Grand Central Station. The station is a maze of corridors and staircases, and Charlie takes a flight of stairs, enters a lonely tunnel, and finds himself absolutely alone. He doesn't panic. He keeps walking, and he finds a flight of stairs which takes him to another level. On reaching this level, he finds a different setup. The room was small, ticket windows were few, men at the ticket counter wore green eye shade and silver protectors. Lights were dim, and open gas lights were being used. Brass pitons were on the floor. He also notices a man taking out a pocket watch, men with beards, sideburns, handlebar mustaches, dressed in old-fashioned suits, women wearing legs of mutton sleeves, skirts, high-button shoes, an old-style locomotive with tunnel-shaped stack. All this gives him realization that he has traveled back in time to a different world. Probably he is on the third level. He confirms his suspicions by glancing at the newspaper The World, dated June 11, 1894. And he wastes no time in deciding to buy two tickets, one for himself and the other for his wife Louisa, to his hometown Galesburg, Illinois. He wants to visit this quiet and peaceful place, with the World War still decades away. And he also decides to exchange old style currency as the clerk at the ticket window gets suspicious. And so he had to leave in a hurry. But then he doesn't give up his search for the third level. And in order to go to the third level, he decides to exchange his currency with the old style currency. But he's never able to find the third level again. So finally, he returns back to the present day world the same way. And when he shares his experience with his friends as the presidents of New York railroads, they have sworn already that there existed only two levels. Charlie's psychiatrist friend says that it was a wishful thinking, and Charlie wanted to escape from the modern world, which is full of insecurity, fear, war, and worries. He further adds that Charlie was looking for a refuge, like his hobby for stamp collection, as he was unhappy, and this remark makes Louisa, his wife, a kind of unhappy. No one believes Charlie, and finally, Charlie concludes uh, that uh, that he has to give up his search for the third level, because in spite of exchanging his new currency with the old one, he is not able to find the third level. Now, but then suddenly something happens. Now from here we have to continue. Now, but I never found again the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central, although I have tried often enough. Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this. So he shared this with his wife, that he is frantically searching for the third level, which he is not able to find. And he has also withdrawn money from the bank, and he has exchanged the present currency with the old currency, although it had given him much losses. But in spite of all this, he was not able to find the third level. So I resorted back to my stamp. He decided to go back to his previous habit of stamp collection. But something has happened. Now we are both looking every weekend, because now we have a proof that the third level is still there. Now he again tries to tell the readers that they have resumed their search for the third level because of the developments, recent developments. And now he is not alone. His wife is with him in his search for the third level. My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected because Sam's a city boy. And I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there, and he always said he liked the sound of the place, and that's where he is all right in 1890. So for the first time, we also come to know the name of his psychiatrist friend, that is Sam Wiener. And suddenly they came to know that Sam Wiener had disappeared, and nobody knows where he has gone. But I sort of suspected because Sam's a city boy. Probably Charlie suspects that he has reached Galesburg because he loved to be in a quiet place. And whenever I used to share with, Charlie used to share with his friend Sam about Galesburg, he was very much excited. He liked the sound of the place. He liked the description, the peace of the place. And finally, he has been able to go there right in 1894. Because one night, fussing with my stamp collection, I found this is how it happened. How Charlie learned that Sam is in Galesburg. When he was just going through his stamp collection, he found, well, do you know that what a first day cover is? He's talking to the readers. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors, they buy some. And they use them to mail envelopes to themselves so that they can have a record of the date of the release of the stamp on the very first day of the sale. And the postmark proves the date. Postmark, which the stamp carries, is a proof of the release of the date of the stamp. The envelope is called a first day cover, and this envelope is called a first day cover. They are never open. You just put a blank paper in the envelope because the stamp, which has a postmark, which is giving the date of the stamp, release of the stamp, that is for collection. So in this blank envelope, only in this first day cover, only a blank envelope is put. But that night, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there. But there it was. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg. And that's what the address on the envelope said. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. The postmark showed that. Yet I didn't remember it at all. The stamp was 6 cents, dull brown, with a picture of President Garfield. So the stamp, the first day cover stamp, carried the picture of President Garfield. And it was dated July 18, 1894. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad, in the mail. It went right into his collection, and then it stayed there till it took it out. I took it out and opened it. So he was just going through his granddad's collection of stamps. But then, when he opened this first day cover, the paper inside wasn't blank. It carried a note, and the note said, "Charlie, I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I've been here 2 weeks, and right now down the street at the daily someone is playing a piano, and they all are out on the front porch saying, 'Seeing Nellie home,' and I'm invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, I believe." So this note was addressed to Charlie, and it was from Galesburg, Illinois, July 18, 1894. And it said that, "Charlie, you were right. I wish to believe you, but then I got to believe that you were right. I have found the third level, and it has been 2 weeks, and I'm having a nice time in this peaceful place." And then he said that, "I am also inviting you to join me. Keep looking till you find the third level." So you must not give up your search. Keep looking for the third level. It's worth it, believe me. The note is signed Sam. At the stamp and coin store I go. So he wastes no time to go to the stamp and coin store. And there he finds that Sam had bought $800 worth of old style currency that ought to set him up in a nice little hay, feed, and grain business. So he had bought $800 worth old style currency. And that would be enough, according to Charlie, to set up a business. And this time, a new one, a little hay, feed, and grain business, which he really wished he could do. And he certainly can't go back to his old business. The old business was psychiatry. He just couldn't take up his old business because that was not required in Galesburg, Illinois. As people, they did not have mental disorders. Not in Galesburg, Illinois in 1894. His old business, why? Why, Sam was my psychiatrist. So he had to take up a new business. And the new business that he took up was little hay, feed, and grain business. A small business instead of taking up psychiatry. So once again, we find Charlie, who is not alone now in his search for the third level. He is joined by his wife, Louisa. Probably he wants the readers also to believe him and resume his search for the third level. At this note, the lesson ends. I would advise you to come up with an interactive session during your online classes based on this lesson. But first, go through the text part and the overview of the lesson so that you are prepared with your doubts in the online class. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.